Right, we've got some big breaking news, and it comes from Manchester United. Our reporter Daniel Kahn has joined us on set. Daniel, what is this big breaking news?
This is huge news for Manchester United, Tom. They are close to an agreement with Brighton and Hove Albion for the signing of midfielder Carlos Baleba, someone they have long admired for well over 12 months. Very much they looked at him in the last 12 months. Last summer, they inquired about him again in January. They are very close to agreeing a fee with Brighton. We don't think personal terms will cause any issues. That should be done very swiftly. And they also have a 5-year contract ready for Baleba. We expect him to undergo medical in the next 24 to 48 hours and travel to Manchester to undergo that medical. And this is felt like it's come out of nowhere, I must say. You know, when you consider where Manchester United have been in the last few weeks in terms of being close to looking at left back and were they going to look at that midfielder? But now it seems the breaking news is Manchester United very close to agreeing a fee with Brighton for the signing of Carlos Baleba.
How good a signing would that be, Tim, for Manchester United's midfield?
Yeah, I'm a believer. I think he's very good. I'm a bit surprised they haven't done it earlier. You know, I don't know whether they've been waiting, Brighton, trying to get the price up. He's been available. If they're letting him go now, he was obviously available at the beginning of the window, you know, so just go and take him and bring him to Michael as quickly as possible and let him fit into the system of how he wants to play. I'm really surprised they haven't gone for Adam Wharton, or any team hasn't gone for Adam Wharton. He would be my choice. I like players who are a little bit more cultured. I know maybe the balance at the midfield they already...
Carlos Baleba to Manchester United. Brighton know exactly what they have. They have a young midfielder who has already adapted to Premier League football and whose potential is enormous. That gives them enormous negotiating power. And this is where the economics of the transfer become critical. United may like Baleba. Carrick may like Baleba. The recruitment department may believe Baleba is exactly what the squad needs. But none of that matters unless United can agree a fee with Brighton. And Brighton are unlikely to make things easy. This is where the transfer could become extremely expensive. Manchester United have already spent significant money rebuilding the squad. They therefore need to decide whether Baleba is worth making another major investment in midfield. Because if Brighton's valuation reaches the sort of numbers previously associated with elite young Premier League midfielders, United will have a huge decision to make. Do they pay? Or do they move to an alternative? Baleba versus the alternatives. This is also important because Baleba is not the only midfielder United could consider. There have been discussions around other profiles. United have previously monitored players capable of providing physicality and defensive coverage. But Baleba possesses one major advantage. He already knows the Premier League. There is no adaptation period to English football. No need to learn the physical demands of the competition. No need to discover how quickly games can change. He is already playing in that environment. That reduces some of the risk. Of course, Premier League experience does not guarantee success at Manchester United. The pressure at Old Trafford is completely different. Every misplaced pass becomes a headline. Every poor performance becomes a debate. And every expensive signing is immediately judged against the transfer fee. But from a purely footballing perspective, Baleba has the profile United appear to be searching for. What would Baleba actually change? This is perhaps the most interesting question. Because signing Baleba would not simply add another midfielder to the squad. It could change how the entire midfield operates. Imagine a midfield where one player can aggressively attack the ball, another can control possession, another can progress the game. Suddenly, the responsibilities become clearer. And that can make the entire team more balanced. United have spent years searching for midfield combinations that complement one another. Rather than simply collecting talented individuals, the objective now should be finding players whose qualities work together. Baleba could potentially provide that missing piece. His athleticism could allow other midfielders to take more risks. His defensive coverage could allow United's fullbacks to push higher. His ball carrying could help United escape pressure. And his ability to cover ground could become particularly valuable against Premier League sides that attack through transitions. That is why this story deserves attention. But this is still not a done deal. And this is where we need to slow everything down. There is a huge difference between Manchester United liking Carlos Baleba and Carlos Baleba becoming a Manchester United player. Transfer windows are full of stories that look advanced before suddenly collapsing. Players can be admired without being pursued. clubs can hold discussions without making bids. And negotiations can fail because of one thing: money.